Guess what? Well, he's going through changes. I just caught him.
It's the beginning stages.
Is he?
Yeah. I just
What's going on with him?
You could just look over
Yeah.
him and you could see him like he gets very sad. He thinks of Jerusalem and he
Really?
thinks of the old country. Yeah. He gets all sad and shit.
Someone stole my credit card and tried to buy Jamaican food. So it was a bad night.
When was that?
When was this?
Last night. $38 of Jamaican food.
Oh, really?
I don't know. And they knew it wasn't me.
They did.
So, yeah, they knew I wasn't eating Jamaican food. So
I'm surprised.
at least my credit card company.
I mean, listen.
That's all right.
Let's
I'm sure
pretend.
they
Let's pretend that they caught it, and all of a sudden they go, "All right, type up Lee Syatt. The picture you came up with that shirt on, looking like you do right now." And they said, "Let me ask you a question. Does this guy look like he gets Jamaican food?" What do you think the question would be?
No, he gets good food. I can tell he knows what he likes, and he's never been to a Jamaican restaurant before in New York.
Bullshit artist and shit. That wine with the edible fucking makes this feel like mushrooms.
Yeah?
Yeah,
You
very
like the
lightly.
mixture?
I like it.
That's a little Pinot.
I like it. It's very nice.
Yeah.
Did you finish your wine, Lee?
Absolutely.
Jesus
I like
Christ.
Pinot.
Did
Pinot's
you eat
my
ano-
favorite.
Did you eat
Want a
another
little-
star?
You all right?
Yeah, of course.
Want a little more?
Sure.
When do you drink wine, Lee? I didn't
I
know
never.
you were a wine drinker.
I don't, but when I do, I like Pinot.
Now, let me ask you something. How many Turturros are there in the acting business?
There's my brother. There's Aida, my cousin, me, and my son and my daughter are, interested, but she's more interested. Well, she's interested more in music. But there's three of us that I know of. She had another sister who was talented, Aida, but she didn't really make a living at it. She was a musical theater girl. But as far as I know, the three of us, yeah.
You weren't one of those acting class dudes.
No.
You didn't go down to the South Village and
I didn't like
meet
that
with
shit.
Monaco.
No, I was a freaking theater major for 1 year running around in tights, and I didn't like it. And all the kids, I thought they were all kind of, fanook, So I was like, this ain't for me. I got to put tights on and stretch, and I was making noises in the class. And one of my friends one guy liked me. None of those people made it. It's so funny. And then I did it 1 year there, in vocal, me, mow, like my brother does, all that shit. I'm like, I just didn't, I not that I didn't want to act, I just didn't like all that theatrical theater kids. So after 1 year, I said, I'm not coming back. This is not what I thought, acting was. But I think I wasn't totally committed then. When I got committed later on, I learned on the job. I didn't have all the classical. I took a class with this guy, Bob Modica, but him I liked because he wasn't like your typical acting teacher. It was like if my father became an acting teacher. He was a bit insane. He used to stir his coffee with a switchblade, and you would have to do this exercise called the repetition. And he would speak like this. And you basically had to put your attention on somebody. They put their attention on you, and you have to be honest. So you might say they might say you're angry. You have to be truthful. I'm angry. Yes, you're angry. Yes, I'm angry. You're angry. Right, I'm angry. Yes, you're angry. Yes, I'm angry. That bothers you. Yes, it bothers me. It bothers you. Yes, it bothers me. It bothers you. Yes, it bothers you. Yeah, but you had to stay in the moment. But if you were fake, Modica would be like, that's not it. He would stop the exercise. But sometimes, if you didn't know what to say, he would write on a piece of paper.
Now, where was this at?
This was in Carnegie Hall. He was great, this guy.
How much a month?
Robert
Back
X.
then.
Modica. Back then, it might have been it was kind of big. It was expensive back then, maybe $150 a month or $200. I don't remember, but he took a liking to me, because he knew I was kind of raw and I was like a caveman. I remember he talked to because my brother studied with him a little bit, and he played football against him and his brother against my uncle Tony. It's so weird that we found this guy Modica. He actually was almost in The Godfather. He was almost Sonny Corleone, because of Coppola. I spoke to Coppola. He said he loved Bob Modica, this guy. He had a little acting career, but teaching was his thing. But I loved him because it was like my father, he was forceful but educated. And he'd tell you sometimes to go outside. It was like an idea. He'd say, go outside and take a walk and figure out why you're coming to the door. Don't come until you know. Right? So one time I fucking like disappeared for 15 minutes. He came looking for me. He goes, you gotta come back. And I said, I know, Bob. He goes, no, you gotta come back. And he liked me. Because, you know, he was like, I told my brother, I don't know what that kid wants to do, but he's interesting. I used to come in with my doorman uniform. He'd be like, hey, General. I was a doorman around the corner. He'd go, you're just in the neighborhood. You figured just stop by. Because you have to try to get in when people were working. You had to listen. The door was a black that said Robert X. Modica. It was kind of a scary door. And he's over there with the switchblade and fucking moving the desk around. He was a great guy. He was actually in a movie with me, Federal Hill. He played like my dad. I gave him a bath. It was weird working with him because then I became an actor and I was like giving him, but in the classroom, he was great. I mean, like I say, I more or less learned on the job. I wasn't classically trained like, my brother and all that hoity. It wasn't my thing. I don't knock it. I think it's great. If I had to do it over, maybe I would do all that shit, and work on my body and learn how to stretch. That's why my brother, he lays on the ground, he stretches, and when you hear him do his fucking vocal warm up, me, it sounds crazy. I go, what are you doing, John? I said, well, I'm warming up my voice, Nick. I'm like, okay. I did a play with him one time. He was in the theater doing all those noises, and he goes, come stretch with me. Come stretch with me. Oh, he's very funny. I did this whole epidural thing because I have 2 bulging discs, so I couldn't walk a couple of weeks ago. So he goes, I said, I'm having side effects, and he goes, that's why you shouldn't do the needles. And I said, John, I can't walk. You understand? Well, that's a different story. But, but it's funny. When I'll say something and he repeats it back. I'll say something, he repeats it back. I was trying to tell him about my cataract, too. I had a cataract surgery. So what kind of surgery was it? Was it a cataract? Wasn't it? It sounds like insane. We say goodbye to each other like this. All right, Nick, I'll see you. All right, love you. All right, take it easy. Bye-bye, John. Bye. Bye. Goodbye. All right, good hearing your voice. Love you. We say goodbye for like 5 minutes, saying goodbye. All right, bye-bye.
Now, did you grow up close to Aida?
No, Aida was in Manhattan. Her father was an artist, so she grew up very different than us. She grew up more like bohemian.
We're going in like fucking Marines, you understand me?
Welcome to church, motherfucker.